This week, President Trump takes his affordability pitch on the road.
And he's starting with key battleground state, Pennsylvania.
Our next guest says he directly raised the issue with President Trump during a call last week. New Jersey GOP Congressman Jeff Van Drew joins us now with more. Congressman, thank you for being here. Tell us about how that call went and what you think the president needs to do on his messaging.
Oh, the call went great. It's always good to speak with the president. You know, I guess it's going to be going on 7 years that I changed and became a Republican. And always since that time, he was great. And we've developed a friendship. I am so happy that he's going out there. He is a president of the people. He loves working people. Let me be clear. Washington, D.C. is not the culture of America. Washington, D.C. is an incubator for political dysfunction and disease. I don't know how else to say it. And you've got to work there, and you get the job done there, and you get the bills passed. But then you got to get out in the street and talk to real people, the doctors, the pipe fitters, the iron workers, the teachers, just what really makes America move and makes America happen. That's what he does so well. We all remember the amazing rallies and when he went to bodegas and fast food restaurants. I love to see him out there. He does so well with that. I'm so glad to see him in Pennsylvania, a neighboring state to me in New Jersey. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him go around the country and sell what is a real plan for the future of America.
What would you say is the most important thing that Republicans need to be focused on right now to actually improve things for people who, you know, obviously we've gotten inflation down, but the problem is you've got to catch up with salaries. What do Republicans need to focus on?
Well, remember one thing, the Biden disaster, what he did to this country, it doesn't get fixed in a day. This has been about 9 months. When all of the work that we've done kicks in next year, it's going to be amazing. You know, no taxes on tips or lower taxes on tips, lower taxes on overtime, 85% of seniors not paying any tax on Social Security. When you go and buy a new American car, you're able to write off on your taxes, the interest rate, all that is going to be huge. We're going to have a good year, all the good things we did with businesses. But here's what we must remember. Don't argue with each other. Stop being selfish. Make sure that people understand we're with them. And healthcare. I've talked about this before. We have to give people that bridge. Obamacare is horrible. The ACA has been horrible and awful. But if we're not able to immediately get rid of it for a very short period of time, continue with it while we come up with a much better comprehensive plan, people cannot afford to have huge increases in their health care. That will be a mistake. I've spoken out about that, and I'm going to continue to do so. We have to take care of the American people.
You know, Congressman, I love that you brought that up because I think that the silver lining of that terrible shutdown that we just went through was people were finally able to see the truth about Obamacare, that it's being completely held up by all these subsidies. It's not affordable. And hopefully it is, as you say, an impetus for the Republicans to come up with a better plan that makes more sense. And I love the idea of the president going out into the country. He's a people person. He needs to tell that story. I mean, you bring such a good point about, you know, when the economy was cranking, it was under the first term of President Trump. It did take about a year and a half before we started feeling the effects of that. So there's that. But I mean, I still remember, Congressman, right before COVID hit, it was a year before, you know, a little less than a year before the election. People thought he was absolutely unbeatable because the economy was so amazing. Why can't he do that again? Of course he can, right?
He can do it again. He's got, and he will. He's excited. He loves people, and people really do love him. It's so much fun when he gets out there, but it's also good. We can talk about what the real issues are and what's really going on. We were on a path to destruction 4 years ago with President Biden in charge. This is just so much better. We can really do this thing. We can win. We shouldn't give up. We have to come together and really, again, make America great again. We're going to do it. We can do it.
Congressman, we love that you have the stockings hung and the nutcrackers out in the Christmas spirit. Merry Christmas, and thank you for taking time.
Thank you. I'm ready for it. Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.